It's a poison. That doesn't help the stress level. No, don't do it. Get a grip. This stupid video I just showed you. I almost stroked out and died over it. You're watching a different show. You donkey. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship. Don't do this to me, Harry. The Ohio State. It's Ohio State. What do you mean, the? 312-988-15.
Hello?
You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks. Sometimes, listen. Sometimes you just know how a show's gonna go. And as of, last evening, I kind of had a feel of how it was going to go today. And we've started out right down that line. And that is totally fine. Totally fine. Totally healthy. Go ahead. Air your grievances on the trail. Whatever you want to do. Ask all the questions. That's fine. That's healthy. That's fine. We're in June. Ask away. Pontificate. Put together a theory. This is that time of the year to do that. And June is usually a big recruiting month, especially for Notre Dame. June's usually a big moving month where a lot of action happens. A lot of those classes start coming together in June. Rough couple days in Notre Dame land. What do you want me to say? Rough couple days in Notre Dame land. And I want to get into some of why there's a little more vitriol the last couple days with some of the recruiting and a little bit of this. I understand some of it. Some of it is maybe like my reaction to some of what's happening, maybe a little bit of immaturity with certain things, emotional immaturity with certain things, namely mainly against Michigan. And I need to be honest about that. Immature enough to understand that maybe I should be above letting things get to me because it's Michigan or whatever. And maybe that's a distraction from a bigger picture of where we want Notre Dame recruiting to go. So I don't know. There's just a little bit of, listen, I get it. I knew what today was going to be. I ain't no dummy. This is not my first rodeo. And when you're in the middle, listen, here's the other part of it. If you're by the way, phones are up. 312-988-15. You want to talk about recruiting? Talk about recruiting. You want to talk about something else? Go for it. We'll get Dr. John in and out of here, and then he'll go to the golf course and enjoy the rest of his day. He's not the type of man that's just going to cry in his hot tub about the recruiting. He's going to hit the links. So listen. There's just a lot to get into, but not a good last couple days. And the way this chat's been trending, I knew what we were going to get into today. So that's perfectly fine, totally healthy. Let's go over a lot of interesting chats all over the board with some of the frustration, some things balancing it out. I see a lot of talk about who's overrated, who's underrated on the team, who's this, who's that. Listen, this is what June's for. And everything that happens this time of year gets That's what I see. As a content guy doing this, what I see is anything that happens in the dead period of the summer gets magnified tenfold because there's nothing else. It's just basic human psychology. You have nothing else. So anything with recruiting, good or bad, is going to get magnified. And I try and understand that as well. And I'm a part of it, but it's just natural human psychology. When you love football and you don't have actual football, any little nugget you get is going to get blown up. It's going to get blown up. So listen, let's get into this and try and think through this and talk through this. As always, you can find the program on YouTube. Do hit subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up, notifications on that way you don't miss nothing. Twitter, search bar Always Irish or at Always Irish Inc. Emails Always Irish ND at gmail.com. Audio only, anywhere you want it, you can get it. You don't want to see my stupid face. Good for you. At least you have some discernment. Good for you if you don't want to see my face start your day. Ain't nobody going to blame you for that. Are you outside your mind? Call-in lines 312-988-15. Dial it up. Tell Uncle Johnny all the bad recruiting you've heard and seen. Fire everybody! Notre Dame Fighting Irish brought to you by SI. Patreon.com/Always Irish. You can enter the promo code RAW. Get yourself a discount. Go check out what we got going over there. Just type it in. And you go in there and then it says, oh, do you have a promo code? Then you enter RAW. And then you get it. And if you do that, it doesn't mean that like the Undertaker and Kane are coming out or nothing. You enter RAW and you get yourself a discount. All right. Oh boy, I don't like this today. I don't like it. I just don't like it. I'm agitated. I didn't even sleep good because I'm agitated about some of this stuff. I'm just agitated. I'm agitated, and there's no easy out, right? Like there's no easy answer. That's the thing with all this. I see the debates and we're talking about who's closing these guys and what's gone wrong or why you can't land this position and this and that. There's no clear answers. That's the thing that I was tossing and turning last night with, just kind of irritated about some of this stuff. There's no easy answers. That's the biggest part of all this. You sit there and you wonder and you type your questions. Why this? What that? What we could have done it? What's going on? And there's no answers. And that is the part that messes with you. You're not in the recruiting room. You're not, on the phones. You're not knowing everything behind the scenes. So you end up in a position where you just sit there and you're like, I just don't know, but I'm frustrated. I just don't know, but I'm freaking agitated. That's the spot you get backed up into. And it's healthy for the summer. Go for it. I'll tell you, I would rather we have all these people in here frustrated about recruiting that love Notre Dame every single day, and all day they just worry about how to get Notre Dame to be better. I would rather we have that discussion than everybody just takes their vacation and sips Mai Tais by the pool until August, and then everybody gets in. So this is good. At least people care. John, your hatred for Michigan is the same as mine for Penn State. Listen, I was sitting there last night thinking about how to put these notes together today, and it kept coming in my brain to write on my notepad, admit you were immature when it comes to Michigan, and when they're involved, then my logic that I usually rely on to guide me through these shows, some of it goes out the window when it involves Michigan. I'm sorry. So we'll get into that. There's a couple specific angles with that, the Michigan part of it, that are bothering me that you couldn't overcome. And it's just kind of bugging me. So that's fine. It's June. What else are you going to do? Get your juices flowing. It's just going to be one of those days, people. It's just going to be one of those days. So, all right, let's get Dr. John in here because I got stuff I'm going to go over on my notes. It's going to take a little bit. Let me get Dr. John in here. He's going to calm my nerves. Dude, Commander, you're gone, dude. You're gone. I'm not in the mood for this today. If you're going to sit there and take shots at my co-host that was a former captain for this program you claim to like, I'm just not in the mood for it today, man. I give you so much leeway, but you insist on stepping up to the line every single time. I give so much more runway and leeway to all these trolls than anybody else does. And you insist on taking my generosity and pushing it to the 10th level. It's getting to be a bit much. I like the engagement. Come at me. Tell me I don't know what's going on. Don't go at him. Take a little time out. I'm not in the mood for it. Where'd you go? Got to scroll back up. There we go. Take a little time out and think about it. I'm just not habitual line. Charlie Murphy. What's up, partner? Habitual line stepper, you guys. That I had a discussion about this over the weekend with somebody. I love engaging the trolls. I like mixing it up. I like people that don't agree with me. I like people going at me or whatever. In Notre Dame, and I have fun with that. It livens up the show. I think it'd be boring if everybody was here and always agreed. All of that stuff applies. I give a lot of runway to the dissent here. Don't take that and go the extra mile to push it. These people, you know where the line is. That's the thing. All these people know where the line is. They know exactly where the line is. And as far as I'll give them, they got to go one step past that line. And it's starting to get to me. But I don't know, in your brain, you know that I have a business content partnership with Goolsby, and you're going to just come in here and rip him and think that's going to fly. It isn't. And again, you're never going to say that to the guy in the parking lot at a tailgate. You're going to ask him for his autograph and want to drink a beer with him. This is online fake guy, tough stuff. That's what's going on. And it's getting to me. I admit it. The darkness, everybody, darkness is spreading. The darkness is spreading. Oh, man. BVG, God bless Grandma. God bless Grandma. And so that is just, I don't know, man. I'm a little agitated with it. I give a mile and somebody's got to take a mile and a step. It's like, here's how I would approach it. If I was one of these people that just wanted to troll all day, I'd say, well, at least John gives me a longer runway than these other shows do. So I'm going to respect that and play within the lines to play along with John's generosity on that runway to be a troll. That's what a logical person would do. Be like, I appreciate that I have that flexibility with John's show. So I'm going to stay within the borders to honor that. Nope. You're a habitual line stepper. You're just like Rick James. You're a habitual line stepper. Welcome to the China Club. A ton of tongue tang. A ton of tongue tang. What? Dr. John's going to make me feel better. What's going on, Doc?
Good morning, John Michael. You seem a wee bit feisty this morning.
It's just weird, man. I was agitated last night, and then I just didn't sleep very well. I was agitated. I wanted to get to this show because I knew what was waiting for me, and I'm excited to just do it. So the hell with it.
Okay, well, I've got a few people to correct here. First of all, don't use the dog days of summer until summer's here, okay?
Wait a second. When the hell is summer? We're in the middle of June, and we got 3 weeks till 4th of July almost. When is summer? August? What do you do? What do you got to do to get to summer if June doesn't count as summer? When is summer?
June 20th,
what, June 20th? Summer's half over. What?
All right, sorry I brought that up. Here.
You were thinking anything other than Notre Dame recruiting will make John happy, and look how that went.
Well, I've got some recruiting stuff on my list here, but every time you do your info, I wonder where Harry is these days. Where's Harry these days?
Harry is probably doing what you're doing, man, and has the hot tub full of ladies and golfing every day.
Well, I'm not golfing every day. I wish I could.
But you didn't.
Oh my God.
But you didn't deny all the ladies part.
Anyway, before I get to recruiting, the two guys that call in here that I just think are so wonderful, Chicago's own, of course, and then Tim. I don't know what Tim's other handle is or whatever, but they always have such good insight into this Notre Dame football thing. But I gotta take Tom to task for his call on Monday, because he started, I think it was like in '69 or something, with Notre Dame receivers, and he didn't even go back to Jack Snow, who was an All-American wide receiver, Jim Seymour, who was an All-American wide receiver. So we had some All-Americans before he started his little analysis. But anyway, I'll leave that for Tom to get back to me. Let's see what else. On the recruiting front, general statement. It's funny when other schools get commitments, they're solid, at least in our heads. When we get a commitment, oh my God, will he stay around? There's two sides to the coin, but we're always on the negative side, it seems like.
So do you think that is just a do you think that reaction is based in fact, or do you think it's based in just like existential Notre Dame worries that everybody always has? Like, or do you think or do you think it's because we've been losing guys at the top end of the class the last few years, so it's always in people's minds? And if they commit to Michigan or something, you just figure it's over. I don't know. Maybe it's all psychology this time of year.
Well, I think it is almost all psychology. It's like we for some reason we have this syndrome that it's all going against us. We're doomed. We're doomed. But now, moving on to a more insightful question I have. There, of the top 25 wide receivers that are still available, I think there's like 11. We've only offered 3 of them. And we offered the number 4, number 18 and 22. I would like to know why more of them haven't been offered. I'm sure, there's legitimate reasons.
Yeah, it's hard to tell that. I always wonder that. And it's very hard to tell because you just don't know. You just don't know. And you don't know how much of it is grades, or they look at a guy and it's just not going to be a good fit, and it's grades or it's personality, or maybe some of these guys just aren't interested. Here's the other thing, Dr. John, with wide receiver recruiting too. A lot of those guys tend to be divas. Not saying that is an insult, but it's like a lot of those guys tend to have a little different vibe to them, and a little diva status to them and their persona, and that isn't always a comfortable fit with Notre Dame historically. I don't know if that's kind of difficult at times. And so I don't know how they decide who they're going to offer or not. I mean, I'm sure there's a formula. The grades, the numbers, the test scores, talk to the kid athletically. Is it what you like? Gauge their interest. I don't know, man. It's a good question. I would love to know the behind the scenes in that process.
Well, I'm sure that Freeman gets word from admissions that says, no, this kid can't make it. This kid can't make it. So they don't bother offering them. And the classic case of it, well, you've heard me express my dislike for Lou Holtz, not as a football coach, certainly. But one of my negative things is, he tried to get, oh God, now I can't think of his name. It was a wide receiver, ended up at
Randy
West Virginia.
I thought you were talking.
Yeah. Suppose, and you don't know how much of this crap is true, but supposedly he told Moss he was in, and admission says, no, he's not.
Yeah.
And
It is interesting. If you listen to him talk about it, it's such a missed opportunity, because he even said, I grew up and Notre Dame was one of the only teams on TV every weekend. And I liked Notre Dame. And because of that and everything, man, like that was a real opportunity for everybody involved that never came to fruition.
Well, I'm glad he didn't. Just what I know one incident with Moss in Minneapolis that involved a niece of mine. I'm glad he didn't end up wearing Notre Dame uniform, but that's just personal stuff. So anyway, the last point, not on recruiting, but I'm just kind of harboring this thought: what happens to our listening audience if Minchie starts that Miami game?
Yeah, the information I've been led to believe, I don't know, man. It looks like it's probably going to be Carr. So I don't know.
Yeah, I know. And of course, everybody is just chomping at the bit for him. But of course, I'm sitting here wanting some turmoil. So I'm just, in my mind, I'm wondering, Minchie comes out behind center that day. I'm wondering how many people who are in the chat that are in the Carr camp just lose their minds. But
yeah,
anyway, I'm just looking for turmoil here, John.
Yeah, well, you came to the right place. And you know what, though? But I understand it, though, man. I really do. But this is not my first rodeo. It happens every summer, man. All you have is a little bit of recruiting news and nothing else. Everything gets magnified, good or bad. That's just the way it's going to be.
Yeah, and if you take it in the right vein, it's nothing but fun.
Yeah, I mean, and you're
it's freaking football.
Yeah, it is. And we do need to understand, like, the recruiting didn't close today. There's a lot of time for things to change and it be okay or whatever. But the last couple of days are rough. I don't like losing some guys to Michigan, okay? Especially back to back. That offends my football sensibilities, and I'm a little agitated about it. I'm entitled to that.
Of course you are. You're entitled to your own feelings. no matter how screwed up they might be.
I just picture you telling me that, dressed in that white doctor coat, and I'm laying on a couch. And I'm just laying there staring at the ceiling, and you're leaning over. It's okay to have your own feelings, John. Let them out. The next thing you're going to say is, you know what you should create, John? An avenue just for you to get all your thoughts out. Maybe that would be healthy for you. I already tried that. Look where it's gotten me.
Well, hey, it's gotten you in a pretty good spot. You're loving it. You're loving it. You know that.
Oh, it's true. There's nothing else I'd rather do. Any day here arguing about Notre Dame recruiting is better than any day I had in a cubicle in a high rise in the Loop in Chicago. I'll tell you that for sure. That's for damn sure.
You are among the fortunate few, John.
Well,
you are.
I appreciate the
enjoy.
Yeah, I appreciate the I don't take it for granted, and I'm glad to be a conduit to the Irish voice.
Okay, I'm gonna cut you loose here, but I gotta thank your mom for her nice text about my pinched nerve. So it's nice to have sympathy from that lady.
Yeah, you could always count on her, man. She's so nice. She's just really, really nice. It makes you wonder what happened to me. She's so nice. It's a great thing, though. She's awesome.
Well, she probably dropped you on your head when you were a babe.
Yeah, that would explain
a lot. Won't admit it.
Yeah, that'll explain a lot. She spiked me like a touchdown there when the Bears won the Super Bowl when I was born or whatever. I don't know.
Okay, well, thanks for the call on a Wednesday.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for making it, and have a good one, Dr. John. Thanks for making me laugh. Appreciate you.
Hey, take care of yourself.
Yeah, see ya. Oh, what a good guy. Angela, good to see you. Jill's one of my favorite humans, and clearly my favorite Kennedy. Yeah, that ain't no joke. You're not going to get any pushback. You're not going to get any pushback from me on that one. Oh, I got nice parents, man. I got nice parents. So that's true. Oh boy. 770 coming up. Look at this. $5 holler for the beef eater. He's a beef eater. He ain't eating no tofu. He ain't eating none of them vegetables. He's a beef eater. $5 holler. Johnny, Institute troll bounties for your regular viewers. $5 super chat for a temporary ban. 20 for a permanent ban. Oh man. Again, I give a lot of leeway. I do not mind the pushback. There's just certain things that people push just to see how far they could do it. Just to see how far they could do it. They all know I don't want any politics in here because it automatically turns things toxic. What does somebody do? Drop something political in there just to push my buttons. The Goolsby thing, that shouldn't bother me. It just kind of does. I'm sorry. It just kind of does. I'm not going to sit here and let people trash my business partner. It's just not going to happen. And I feel like that's a perfectly valid line to have. So whatever, man. Whatever. It's also our anniversary today. How have I been married this? Yeah, Phil, that's a good question. It's a good question. It's a good question for Erica. Maybe I got that question too. Kent asked a while ago. He was giving us a hard time for losing out on a good wide receiver to Duke. And it's like, how could you do that? I don't know. How does anybody know? Is it not a little short-sighted to just look at any good player that ends up anywhere other than at your place and then go, how did we not get that guy without knowing any of the details? Like seriously, just think about it. It's like, oh, this receiver picked another smarts who went to Duke instead of Notre Dame. How did he not go to Notre Dame? How would anybody know? How would anybody know? You can't just look at like a 4-star wide receiver or whatever, and he goes to Duke and then draw all these lines of like, how does anybody know? How does anyone know what caused that or what makes a guy make decisions or whatever? This show is becoming stagnant. Ronald, get to the fry machine then. I don't care. You think I care? Go dump that fresh oil in there and crisp up them hash browns with your time. Or why don't you start Ronald McDonald's YouTube channel? Then you could say whatever you want. It'll never be stale. You could say whatever you want. You could review new products. You could go, you know what's bugging me about this fast food too? 770, I'm coming to you. And then I got a bunch of notes about sad recruiting stuff. Here's what's bugging me about this fast food stuff. And I'm not eating a lot of it anymore. No fast food since Blue and Gold, since I've been trying to get in better shape. But when I've been around the block. They know that all this food is overpriced garbage. You can't even get a regular McDonald's meal for under like $10 now for absolute garbage food. So all these companies know that people are agitated, that they're charging like sit-down restaurant prices for a crappy McDonald's meal, that they smash the burger every time, which I'll never understand. Every single burger I get from there looks like a pancake. The guy said, oh, this guy ordered a cheeseburger. Put it in the presser. I don't understand. Every single burger you get from McDonald's looks like a pancake. Smashed. Anyways, what's bugging me is they all know that everybody's agitated. It costs too much. And then they come up with this dollar menu. Like they advertise a dollar menu. You roll up there and you look at it and the dollar menu, the things are $4. What are you talking about? A dollar menu and it's $4. Don't call it a dollar menu. The dollar menu was in the early 2000s at Wendy's when everything was 99 cents. Get yourself a double stack. Get yourself some nugs. Get yourself some fries. Get yourself a Frosty and get yourself a Coca-Cola. And it's $5. That's a dollar menu. Sick of this. Sick of this dollar menu stuff. $4. Are you out of your mind? I knew this was how it was going to go today. Oh, boy. And here's the other thing. I'm not even going to say it. 770, what's going on? What's up, 770?
Hey, John, how's it going?
It's going okay. There's some Irish agitation today. People are justifiably frustrated. Couple back-to-back guys. You lost to Michigan of all places. So there's just a little Irish irritation, and that's fine for June. I'm glad people care.
Yeah, you can't fix stupid. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, well, I've been trying to fix myself for 30 years, so I guess you're right.
So I got a little bit different take on the CFP format changes that they just came out with, and I just wanted to get your opinion on it.
Interesting. Yeah, let's do it.
So first of all, let me say, huge fan of Pete Babako. I think he was a fantastic hire. I think he did as best as he could have with the negotiations, and basically you're negotiating with the Big Ten and the SEC. And it's definitely a benefit for Notre Dame. So let me qualify everything by saying that we're in a better position now this year than we were last year. But, my concern is, and calling me a paranoid or conspiracy theorist, but unless Notre Dame's undefeated and ranked number 1, maybe number 2 at the end of the regular season, there's no way we're going to get one of those buys. The CFP committee is going to bump us back just like they did last year.
Yeah.
At the end of the year, we were ranked number 4 going to the conference championship games. And then conference championship games happen. Nobody can be punished for losing a conference championship game. Then why should anybody get the benefit for winning one? Notre Dame's going to get penalized.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, where even in a world where Notre Dame was undefeated, they're going to give that nod to the conference champions to have them ahead of Notre Dame, especially if they play that extra game and win it. Then that would be one more tick in their favor that we are incapable of having. So, yeah, I do get that. I've seen people say it's still a little bit of a penalty because Notre Dame's never going to be 1 or 2 because they're not going to put Notre Dame in over the SEC and in the Big Ten conference game winners, right? Is that kind of what you're thinking? No matter what, even if we're 12-0, is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, I think if we're ranked number 1 at the end of the year, there's no way they can take it from us. I think number 2 is a 50-50 chance, and I think if we're ranked 3 or 4, they're going to bump people ahead of us. I mean, if the next year's rules were in place last year, we still wouldn't have gotten a bye.
Yeah, it's and then here's the other thing, though. Right when everybody gets their mind around this format, you're going to do it for a year, and then I think they're going to renegotiate to go to 16, and then who knows what they come out. Like, that's where this is headed. Does anybody have any actual doubt we're not going to 16? Because I am totally sold that it's happening. So you have this little adjustment they made for this year. I guarantee you they all go back in that room, including Bavacqua, and they're going to come up with the 16 format. And then we're going to see what the rules are for that one. So right when you wrap your mind around this, they're going to go do that. And then the big debate's going to be how much power did the big 2 conferences have? Are they going to get 6 teams? It's 6 teams each guaranteed. If they go 7-5, but they're the 5th team, you get an automatic bid. Like, I don't know. But right when you wrap your mind around this, they're going to do something different.
Well, and then are there any buys in a 16-team format, or does everybody play in the first week?
Yeah, and you know what else too, man? I got to admit this. When they first came out with like the bracket stuff last year, when we started getting close to playoff time and ESPN and all these places would show this, I'm not that smart of a guy, man. It was a little confusing to me how they had the rankings, but the seedings don't reflect the rankings at all. It took me a minute to figure out, oh, okay, I get it now. Just because you're ranked, you could be ranked 12th or whatever, but if you win one of those lower conferences, you get the bye. Like, it was bugging me how your ranking didn't match your seeding. At least now that is all uniform. That makes a lot more sense to me.
Right, because last year we were number 4 at the end of the regular season, number 5 after the conference championship games, but seeded number 7.
Yeah. So at least that makes logical sense to me, but I wouldn't get too used to anything because they're going to change it right after this year anyways. So I don't know, man. It's a wild world. I guess be glad. It's a good sign Notre Dame got to be eligible for the top 4. We could debate how practical it is, where they're going to fall or whatever. But I hope that portends well for the next round of negotiations when they talk about 16. So I hope that momentum keeps going with Bavakwe, he could be like, well, wait a second. You agreed to have us have the bye now, but now you want to change that like the next year? That ain't going to work. So hopefully Notre Dame can maintain whatever practical or perceived leverage they have in that negotiation too. I don't know.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, we are in a better position this year than we were last year. I don't dispute that at all. I'm just not sure it's as great a position as a lot of people may think we're in, because I do think the CFP is going to penalize Notre Dame for not being in the conference any way they can, because you could lose the conference championship game and you potentially jump Notre Dame in the top 4.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And then the big question when they go to 16, which is going to happen, is it's going to be how many guaranteed bids you're going to give the big 2. That's going to be my biggest question of that format.
Yep.
Anything else on your mind?
No, that's pretty much it. I just, I unfortunately don't get a chance to listen live too often, and today I did, so I figured I'd call in.
Hey, really appreciate the call. Yeah, looks like middle of March was the last time, man. Save the number, give me a call whenever you get a chance. Thanks for hopping in. Crystal clear phone line, man. 10 out of 10 phone line, baby. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, man. Have a good day.
Have a good one. Take it easy. How much time you got, buddy? How much time you got? All right. Let's you guys are funny. I just think the shirt shrunk. I'm going to be totally honest. This shirt was a medium and it was a little tight on me even before Johnny was working out. So it ain't turning into no Hulk Hogan over here. When he was on the roids, not when they made him off cycle after they all got sued. Come on. It is just medium. That thing, it was a little tight even to begin with. They need to make these with a little loose. I'm pitting out. I'm just agitated today. A little agitated. All right. I'm going to get into a couple of my notes and then we'll go to the chats and we will manage the calls as we need to. John is getting intimidating and I might not make it to another tailgate. I know that's not true, but even if I was intimidating, it certainly wouldn't be to you. It wouldn't be to you, Phil. That's for sure, man. You're on the inside. Yeah, Johnny Juice. That's all I need. That's all I need. Imagine me on roid rage. Imagine me regular, and then imagine me in roid rage, okay? Imagine that. Oh, man. Oh, boy. Oh, Kent. Why do you got to bring this up? Like, of all the things this is where we're going. I remember after a win, I forget the team, but John and Pat had the whole family on the show. They were drinking. They were happy on cloud 9. Then they lost to OSU and they were so sick. Face stale. It was awesome. I mean, whatever. I don't apologize for any of that. Everybody, my family's a part of the dynamic here. People know everybody's gotten to know my brother and my parents and my family, and everybody's a part of it. So when it's good, we're going to celebrate it together. And when it isn't, we're going to be sad. I don't know what that seems pretty natural to me. Seems pretty natural to me. John eats saltine crackers as the pre-workout. You know what I do, Anthony? I take the pre-workout mix, whatever, with all that caffeine and whatever they do. And I just take it out, sprinkle it right on them crackers, and I just bite into them. Bite into them. Oh, boy. All right. So here's the deal. Let's get into a couple of my notes. And I might get pushback for this. I don't know how it's going to go. June's a big recruiting month. June is a big recruiting month. It should be a big recruiting month. Historically, it's been an important recruiting month for Notre Dame in the modern era. Okay? Heavy focus on recruiting by all teams, by all media people, by all the fans, whatever. In that regard, not a good last couple days for Notre Dame. There are a lot of questions and some things to go over. Oh, I still got that Buckeye candy. I'm letting these things mold up. I'm letting them mold up. And if we ever beat them and it isn't another 100 years like 1936 to 2036, I'll eat them. but not until we beat them. They can sit there and mold until I'm on my deathbed, which at this pace might be August, and I'll eat them when we beat Ohio State. How about that? They could sit here and rot on the floor of the stupid basement until then. Yes, I'm pitting out. I'm getting worked up, and the shirt's too tight. Sorry, dog. Not a last good couple days. Okay, so Mikel Blade, 4-star D lineman out of Simeon, Chicago, picks Michigan. Alistair Vallejo, 4-star lineman, Notre Dame was all over. He picks Michigan yesterday. Not a good start to the week. Not a good start to the week. So here's the first thing. Immature or not, losing these guys to Michigan is an accelerant to the fire here. And I don't know if that applies to all of you, but to me, I admit it's immature. It's immature. SPF, eat one, John. It may change the outcome. No. Now you're getting, no. Now you're getting some tricky. Now you're getting tricky with it. Like, no. I'm leaving those things wrapped up to get all moldy. I'm not messing with them. I'm not even opening them. Not happening. Okay. So immature or not, losing these guys to Michigan is an accelerant to the whole fan, the fan engagement thing. It just is. And I admit some of that may be my maturity. You could argue, John, you should be this devastated and agitated whenever Notre Dame loses a recruit to anyone in the country. You should maintain that level of vitriol and being upset and agitated. I was tossing and turning last night just because I was agitated, kind of excited to get to this show to be able to get some of this out. And I admit my own immaturity with the Michigan thing, that's a part of this. That's a part of this. And their whole media and all their characters, that's all a part of this. Okay? It's all a part of it. So immature or not, that's a piece of it. And then you have excuses. That's the other thing. I really struggle with the excuses. I genuinely do. Nobody wants to hear them. Everybody wants to land a kid. And then when you don't land them, all the excuses start coming out from the team that doesn't get him. Was he really a fit? Did we cooled off on him? That whole thing, like it rubs me the wrong way. Because it just comes off like loser talk when you're sitting there all about, we cooled on him or whatever. You wanted him a day ago. And then the guy announces somewhere else. Suddenly you weren't that interested. That's a weak look, and it bothers me. It just bothers me. So here's the thing about the other part of the Michigan thing. Somebody needs to tell me if this is totally out of line. I'm open to this. Tell me if this part of the dynamic is totally, tell me if I'm not existing in the real world. I'm open to this. You got to be honest with me if you think I'm just crazy for this. Losing a couple guys to Michigan, one of them a Chicago guy, that bothers me always. When you don't connect that Skyline pipeline from Chicago, cross by that lake over to South Bend on the Skyway, that bothers me. That should be a constant Notre Dame pipeline. The Michigan thing would always annoy me. But an extra level to this is the fact that, to me, they look toxic right now. Nothing but scandal and problems. That is adding a level of insult to me that Notre Dame couldn't land who they wanted to land if it's between them and Michigan when you're like kind of in the clear and whatever. And Michigan is riddled in scandal and problems and important people leaving and all this drama and the ongoing hearings and everything that they have going on and all this stuff, right? And so is Michigan really doing this great of a job of convincing kids there's nothing to see here and there's not any sanctions that are going to affect them when they're at Michigan? Like, to me, not just with Notre Dame, but there's so many great programs out there. If you didn't pick Notre Dame, there's so many other great programs out there. Why are you picking the one that's scandal-ridden with ongoing discipline litigation? Nobody on Notre Dame's side was able to say, hey, man, are you sure about this? Michigan feels a little unstable to me. Like, am I the only one that sees it this way? Or is there literally just nothing coming from this at all? And it's just going to be a slap on the wrist for Michigan, give them a little fine or a scholarship reduction of a handful and we just move on? Like, is that where we're at and what we're doing? Am I overthinking this when I'm just thinking Michigan's in the middle of all this scandal and litigation, and they could end up maybe with a multi-year postseason bowl ban where none of these guys are even eligible for the playoff, and you couldn't win that battle against a team where that's on the table? That's an extra layer of insult to me about that somebody picking Michigan over Notre Dame. So are they doing such a good job of assuring all these kids, oh, ignore all that, nothing to see here. We're just going to get a slap on the wrist and these kids are okay with that? I guess you could argue they could just transfer. Like, if it really does come down that they end up getting like a 3-year postseason bowl ban, those guys could all just transfer when the news breaks and go do something else. But to put your roots down somewhere that's literally in the middle of ongoing disciplinary negotiations is a little rough to me. It's added insult that like you don't have those problems and they were able to easily overcome those problems. Is it just money? Is it just like really good NIL? I don't know. But it's just a little. I look at the Michigan brand a little bit like it's toxic right now, and it depends who you listen to. The Michigan people are saying, oh, slap on the wrist, nothing to see here. And the Ohio State people on the Ohio Scoop and the Nevada Buck or whatever's talking about, they're going to get nailed. Get ready for the hammer to come down. Multi-year postseason bowl ban maybe on the tip. Man, they were able to overcome that. Like, do you even ask the questions? If I'm a parent of one of these kids and I'm going to Michigan, the number one question I'm asking is what the hell went on with that and what's going to happen? Are they doing that good of a job of selling that they're sure nothing is coming of this? It bothers me. Nobody on recruiting is a dangerous sport. It's a shady industry in a lot of ways. Like, I'm just going to ask, is it like uncouth for the Notre Dame people that meet with these guys to be like, you're considering Michigan, or you better think that through, bro. They may be in real big trouble. Do you want to sign up to be in that mess and have to figure out what to do from there? Like, is it wrong are we not pushing that to them and being like there's positive recruiting of what Notre Dame's doing right. There's also negative recruiting against the other contenders. Is there no like, bro, are you sure you want to sign up for this? What if they get nailed? That puts you in a weird spot when you didn't do anything wrong. You were in high school, then you go to Michigan, and then you're not eligible to be in the playoff. That's not fair to you. Why would you sign up for that? All of those objections were overcome here twice in 2 days at Notre Dame's expense. Forgive me for being agitated and losing sleep over it. I didn't sleep very well. This was bothering me. It's just, so even if there was no scandal or anything, it would bother me to lose to Michigan and a recruit. But the fact that they're going through all of this, maybe behavioral disciplinary stuff, drives me crazy. It drives me crazy. Somebody's saying I give Kent way too much time. I'll tell you what, though. Kent and I have talked offline a little bit, man. Like, I consider the guy a friend in real life. Like, I've actually had some exchanges with him about real life stuff and back and forth. So there is a little bit more to Kent than just what you see him doing the Ohio State troll job stuff. Like, actually a nice guy I've gotten to know a little bit offline. So maybe that helps explain it. Maybe you just don't give a crap. That's fine. I'm just explaining the dynamic. He's not just a random guy. So maybe you care about that. Maybe it changes how you think about it. Maybe you go, the hell with you, John. Who cares? Get this Ohio State guy off my TV. I don't blame you for that either. I don't blame you for that either. So ND losing guys is one thing, but doing it twice like this to them with so much bad stuff surrounding the program, it's just quite frankly a bad look for Notre Dame. It's not the end of the world. The recruiting class isn't going to finish dead last. It's not the end of the world. But I'm being totally genuine when I say, yeah, that rubs me the wrong way. It rubs me the wrong way. So whatever, man. I just, Mike Anderson with the creativity here. The last time Notre Shane, you didn't even spell Notre Shame right. God, this is upsetting. If you're going to troll, at least spell it right. You Michigan dummy. The last time Notre Shane won, who Notre Shane Gillis? If you're going to troll, at least do it right. I love a good troll, but you got to do it right. You got to execute your part. And you failed. You failed. And you failed. Man, that's upsetting. If you're going to drop one, at least spell it right. You're leaning right into every Michigan stereotype I've ever had. I guarantee you have a mullet, a cut-off shirt, and cut-off jean shorts with the belt loop. High socks with the old man New Balances. I know your type. And I know that's what you're wearing. Because I know it. I can feel it. I can see right in your living room. Which cutoff am I going to wear today? I got to put my comb through my mullet. I know it. I feel it. I know I'm right. Anyways, Notre Dame losing guys is one thing. Losing them to Michigan in back-to-back days, how much time you got, buddy? You think they're the best answers? Losing them to Michigan this way really does bother me. It's an insulting look for Notre Dame. It is. And so I want a multi-year postseason. If we've determined that you can't take the title away from Michigan, you can't put an asterisk, you can't do, whatever. And you're going to discipline them. The next best thing short of the next New Balance had a good run. I can't handle it. The ugliest shoe in America. Every single suburban dad has 4 pairs of it. They're the ugliest shoes in America. You know what I'm talking about. Those blocky looking ugly white with the blue NB they look like orthopedic shoes for a 98-year-old at a senior home that can't they are the ugliest shoe I've ever. Blocky. They just look like a cinder brick with the white, and it just has the NB. And most of the guys that wear them they're overweight. So then you got a fat foot there stretching them out. Looks like you got 2 cinder blocks with your socks pulled up. And the big ugly NB, the green, the weed-eating stains at the bottom. Every single middle-aged dad in America goes to the store, goes online, and goes, you know what? I don't need these Air Jordans. Give me those New Balances, damn it. Give me those New Balances, and I'm going to be bouncing around while I'm mowing that lawn. They are really ugly. I can't do it. And you know what? I just can't handle it. I can't handle it. I hate those shoes. You see them everywhere you go. How can anybody be like, there's a million different stylish shoe options, and every 50-year-old dad in suburbia goes, I need those. The ugliest ones. I need those. Not only do I need them, but I got to get 2 pairs. What was that? What was it? Was it Nelly and the Lunatics? I need 2 pairs. Stopping in my Air Force One. They're stopping around in those block New Balances, bro. Get a sense of style. I'll never understand it. Best-selling shoes in America. They're the ugliest ones I've ever seen. I want a multi-year postseason ban. If you're not going to take the title away or asterisk it or whatever, I want a multi-year postseason ban. What that will do is, depending on how long it is, can a brother get 3 years? I want enough, follow me. I want enough years that it totally screws them, not only for the next few recruiting cycles, but that whole class gets screwed, because then nobody would want to go there. Guys would transfer out. You're not eligible for that. That ends up being a 6, 7, 8 year penalty, because you would, if they say they can't go to the playoff, you're going to have some guys transfer out in that recruiting class. How many guys want to sit there and get disciplined for something they didn't even want to do? So that's, if you're not taking that title away or asterisk in it, spit it out, idiot. If you're not going to asterisk it. I'm struggling today. Can you tell? If you're not going to penalize them on the title, the next best thing you can do is give them a multi-year postseason ban. Everybody transfers out, recruits jump ship, and it affects them for a long time. And by the time they're out of that wilderness, they have a big hole to dig out of, and it's going to take multiple years to dig out. Even a 2 to 3 year postseason bowl ban would have put that in effect for 6, 7 years. Give me something. Give me something. Vacate is way more likely than a bowl ban. Oh, I wish, Chief. This is getting to be your type of time of year, Chief, by the way. The water's getting warm. The families are heading to the beach. And then out of nowhere, there's Jaws. It's your time of year, Chief. Embrace it. Enjoy it. Embrace it. It will be vacated wins, but not the title. I don't even understand how that logically makes sense. How does that even logically make sense? That you could say that the wins they got... Wait a second. Wait. Am I missing something? Chief? Chief Keef? Am I missing something? It will be vacated. It will be vacated wins, but not the title, and a stiff fine. Wait, I got trouble with all this. If you're vacating wins, which means you accumulated them illegally, how are you able to retain the ultimate prize of doing that? Like, I genuinely am having a logical block here. If you're vacating wins, saying that they didn't earn them, how are you then able to value and honor the championship? And here's the other thing. How is Sherrone Moore surviving all this? He's the one who had all those deleted text messages and all this stuff and got rid of it all. And everybody else jumped ship like roaches jumping off something into something else. Harbaugh's living a great life. I live in the California weather. Him and Chad go surfing together. Whoa, hang 10, bro. Harbaugh's on a surfboard, drinking his milk, hanging 10. He got away with murder. The president left. What is this? The president left and thought he was going to skip town and blow right into Florida and get that job, and they denied him. He thought he was going to Florida to get away from all this and go be the president somewhere else all fancy. And then they blocked it. The board blocked it. So all these people are leaving. All those assistants are jumping ship. But somehow Sherrone Moore's there, and it's like, yeah, he's fine, though. I mean, nothing. Oh, okay, we'll give him a one game against the Ann Arbor local high school team. He's going to be able to watch that one at home. Okay. So I want that multi-year postseason ban if you're not going to take away the title. Here's the thing, though. Maybe I'm totally wrong about my old theory about this bothering me because Michigan, to me, looks toxic and has stink on them right now. Maybe I'm totally wrong. Maybe out of my Notre Dame, Michigan hatred. And again, I'm open to this. I know myself well enough to know where this may be on me. Maybe. I am just way out on my skis on this one, and I'm wanting discipline that isn't coming. And it's just going to be a slap on the wrist. I will say that I'm open to that. Maybe I'm totally wrong because what I want to happen is clouding my judgment of reality. I've been on the record, though, of saying I think the most likely scenario is something right in the middle. Enough that the Michigan people are bothered by it, but not enough that everybody else that wants them nailed is going to be satisfied. Is that not the most likely scenario? Like a fine? Wow. That's really going to burn a place like Michigan to have to pay money. That does nothing. That's nothing. Even a few scholarship reductions is nothing to me, especially with these expanded rosters we're going to. So where does this leave us? Where does this Jedi Buck? That's the most true thing. Nobody respects Michigan. Nobody respects Michigan. Fines and suspension is you may as well do nothing. That is nothing. That is not discipline for this kind of egregious situation. Fines and a suspension is nothing. That is not even on my radar of an acceptable range on the low end of discipline here. So whatever, but I'm biased. Unlike a lot of people on the internet, I will admit I'm totally biased. So where does this leave us? Where does this leave us? It's not great. I don't know what else there is to say. It's like people are mad, and then they'll say, why are we giving Freeman a pass? Why doesn't anybody nail Freeman when things aren't going good enough? Or we all nailed Kelly when he missed a recruit, but if it's Freeman, we find excuses for him. I get a lot of those messages, and it's like, okay, what do you want me to say? Land more recruits and try and stop losing them. There, did it change everything? Like, I don't know what people want you to say. Express your frustration and go, try not to lose guys moving forward. Try and land your targets. There, I said it. Does everybody feel better? Like, I don't know what people want. I don't know what people want to come out of this. Like, when you have that frustration, you want to, like, talk, okay, there, I just did. Don't lose the guys you're going after and land more of them. Did it work? Did it work? And the other thing is, too, I'm going to say this. Too. And it may not be popular with a certain segment of this group that thinks all I do is carry water for Freeman. And again, I've said every time something stupid's happened, I've said, you got to be better, Freeman. I don't know what else people want me to say. The problem I have with people comparing like how I used to get after Kelly with recruiting versus Freeman is the effort was always behind the scenes told to me as a problem with Kelly. The effort. So when you lose guys and it's put in your head from people around that this is not an effort level that is going to produce the results you want, that was always underpinning my negativity. It's like, I can't even get, you're starting out behind with me when I know that's the dynamic that the people around the program have the perception, maybe, or practically, that you're not doing enough and putting in enough time and effort to land guys, and then we miss them. That's a different level of vitriol than an operation that I know tries hard and doesn't get to the finish line. So I don't know. But that was always a part of the intensity when you didn't get a guy under Kelly. It's like, I'm not even sold that you tried as hard as you could. It would be different if you put full effort in and didn't get a guy. I have a lot more flexibility for that because at least I know the effort's there from the head man. If I'm not getting that requisite effort from the head man and I hear he's golfing too much, that's a tough spot to be. And so I don't know. It's not great news, but it particularly stung me to have it be Michigan when I look at them as being toxic, and maybe nobody else does. Maybe I'm out on an island because I just hated Notre Dame, or hated Michigan rather. So I don't know, man. It's tough. Yeah, Jerry, look at this. John, I try very hard to get and develop players, and all you do is insult me. You do not do any of that. You try and fill the roster for as few dollars as it's going to cost you, and then we just deal with the consequences of you losing 100 games every year. That's what you do. So I don't know what to make of it. It isn't the end of the world that you didn't land these guys. It is just not good for a start to June, and it's insulting that you couldn't overcome a group that may be facing major discipline. That hurts. It's not good. $20 from Tom Chris. I miss you guys. Little Southern accent they got. Man, it calms my blood pressure. $2 holler. This is why following recruiting sucks and Ket sucks. Chief. Get on out there and chum some of this. Oh, what a good movie. What is this? No. Beef. Come on now. You ain't getting me with this. Johnny, I do not like cats either, but I just saw an actual new product. Pathogen's cat allergen neutralizing spray. No. I'm not even testing it. I'll be dead before it kicks in. I don't trust that for a hot second. I do not do well with cats, man. If you invite me, hey, John, come on over to my house. We're going to watch the ball game. Bro, I'll walk in. I'll forget to ask you if you have a cat. I'll walk in that joint, pop open a beer. 5 minutes later, I'll start coughing a little bit. Oh, man, my eyes start itching a little bit. My nose start running. Couple minutes later, I'm over there turning purple. My throat closes. I can't breathe. So no, I ain't. You could go test that out the hard way. I ain't doing it. Good morning to all. Johnny and the entire AI. Renee, you're having a good week this far. Tex, it's just good to see you. Good to see you. Oh, boy. All right, let me get into some of these chats. Dude, this is the realest thing I've ever seen. Cat people can't be trusted. It's the realest thing. It's true. It's true. You ever notice there's just stereotypes exist for a reason. There are creepy cat ladies for a reason. Nobody says that creepy dog lady over there that has a nice looking Labrador on the porch said nobody ever. There's a reason why it's creepy cat ladies and not creepy golden retriever ladies. Because cats are weird. People that like cats are weird. They're always scheming. They're always just sitting there like they're up to something. You can't trust them. They climb all over your furniture. They step on their own poop in that sandbox and jump on your counter where you're making dinner. They run away from home all the time and then just show back up. You can't trust cat people, man. You can't trust cat people. And if you ever date a girl that has a cat, red flag, bro. Red flag. You date a single girl that has a dog or whatever, now that's a different story. That's showing me she's going to be a good mom, taking care of some nice, real dog. You're dating a girl, you meet this girl, everything's fine or whatever, and then you go over there, you got cats staring at you from around every window. You're trying to Netflix and chill, and you get and you got a cat looking at you across the room. You got to question a cat lady. Red flag, dating a cat girl. Not cat woman. That would be cool. Cat girls, red flag. I'm just telling you, it's a red flag. It's like, there's some personality quirk there. There's something different with these cat people, man. There just is. But you meet a nice girl that has this dog she raised before she met you and everything. That's a different story. That's a green flag. But if that girl, you're on a first date. You got any pets or whatever? Oh, yeah, I have a couple cats. Oh, really? How many's a couple? 17! What? Always question a cat girl. There's something weird about the personality of cat people. I can't trust it. I'm going to give a little exemption, though. I found one exemption. If you have a farm, that's a little different. I got a couple relatives that own actual farmland with pastures, with horses, like a big spread of land, and they have a couple cats. That's a little different because the cats aren't house cats. They're like actual productive farm cats. I'm going to give a little exemption on this. The people that have farmland, and like I know my aunt boards and raises horses. She would have the cats. They're in the barn eating the little mice and keeping the stuff clean and keeping critters away from the horses she's boarding. That's a little different. So I will give a little leeway to that just because they're somewhat practically useful for the operation. And they're mostly outside protecting the horses in the barn. That I will actually give a little credence to, but not these city dwellers. And they got five cats in their house. No. But I'll give you the farm one because they're actually doing what they're meant to do. And it has a purpose other than you just accentuating your weird personality. Man, this is rough today. This is rough today. All right. Against my better judgment, let's do some of these chats. MS. Always Irish welcomes all trolls. Please keep coming here. Like and subscribe. I'm losing my patience. A little bit with them. I'll tell you that. Andrew, where is Freeman? All you read on Twitter and message boards is how great of a relationship guy he is. Players are dying to play for the guy. Then why is Mike Martin making the final pitch? I did see there was a report that he was the one doing that. Shouldn't that be Freeman? I'm just asking if things change. Now you let the GM manage more of this stuff. I don't know the answer to that. Indy needs close Golden and close Finley. My understanding that they trail Bama for Golden and Indy's going head-to-head with Texas for Finley. O'Brien a long shot. Is O'Brien a Clemson guy now? I see all that talk about some other schools involved. The last I saw it looked like people were saying he was a Clemson lead. And then I did see with Texas, man, college football recruiting's come such a very long way. I did see a tweet that said Texas is expecting some visitors and they pulled the Lamborghinis out. Or maybe it was Ferrari, one of them. But they said, it's a big recruiting weekend when they're pulling in the luxury cars. They're pulling in the luxury cars. Always Irish Senior. Good to see you here. Anybody wants to blame anybody for the way I am, blame my dad. Always Irish Senior is the reason I am the way I am. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be like this. So if you like it, you could thank him. And if you hate the way I am, you could blame him. I'm fine with either. Yeah, it was Lambos. Well, good for you. Will Notre Dame ever join the Big Ten? Very creative take. My answer to that is, if they need to, Mike, if they need to. Right now, there's no reason to. But if USC drops off the schedule and then some of the SEC teams look at it and go, wait a second. Some of these teams, look at 29. You have Alabama, Texas, and Florida on the schedule. What if they look at USC bowing out of the Notre Dame game and then they go, well, wait a second. Even their biggest rival doesn't feel the need to play them every year. Why are we going to sign up for maybe taking a non-conference loss? Why are we going to do that? So if they back out following suit after USC, that could back Notre Dame into a scheduling problem. And you're not going to join the ACC. Babak was way too smart to hitch Notre Dame's wagon to the instability of the ACC and the bad TV deal. Babak was not going to do that. He comes from TV. He's not going to do that. Then you join the Big Ten. But like, if you ask me, what would it look like for Notre Dame to join the Big Ten? That would be it. USC is the first scheduling domino to fall. They don't want to play you anymore. Man, if they're able to do that, these other teams are going to be like, even their rival isn't playing them. Why are we going to do it? We're out of here. Schedule Chattanooga State. And then you're backed into a weird corner. So I don't know. Irish Cole. Notre Dame simply cannot get defensive tackles. Unreal. Who knows if this Vallejo guy pans out or not, but the simple fact Michigan can point to the draft and prove better chance of future success. If you want to go with that angle, that's fine. But man, I just think that the risk of not being able to play in the playoff would really be a big deterrent if I was a player. I don't know. It would. Yeah, O'Brien's going to Clemson. Love the trip there. They're in the lead. That's what I heard too. Can we stop with the Michigan cheated? It's ancient history, had zero to do with these recruitments. My argument is it should have something to do with them. It's ongoing disciplinary litigation to where they could not be, these guys they're recruiting now may not be eligible to be in the playoff if they play at Michigan. That's incredibly relevant to me, unless I'm way off in la la land and my Michigan hatred is convincing me they're going to get nailed with some discipline and I'm way off base. And I'm open to that. I'm open to reporting my biases and we'll see. We'll see. Andrew, I agree about Freeman. It's been very good for the program in many ways, but his continued failure to land these guys will keep Indy on the outside of serious title contention. He is good, not great. Well, wait a second. It will keep Notre Dame outside of serious title contention. Were they not? You had the same dynamic last year, and they were literally in the biggest title conversation there is, playing in the championship game. I don't understand that they literally played in the championship game. I know they didn't win it, obviously, but it's like serious title contention. How much more serious does it get than you're in the title game? I don't know. 415. I'm coming to you. I had to get to some of these chats. Domer guy. Said it before, I'll say it again. I really think ND's located in a crappy place. South Bend looks like the armpit of America. Kids don't want to live there. That's the age-old debate. And then I always bring up, like, the cold weather thing. I always go, Ohio State has really cold weather. I don't see their recruiting struggling. And as far as the OSU Midwestern team recruiting goes, South Bend and Columbus are not comparable. Yeah, I understand that. So I don't know. It's you cannot be a consistent contender without wide receivers and tackles. If Freeman can't land them in high school, you got to have a better plan for the portal. Golden, Finley, O'Brien, all the caliber athletes Indy just can't convince. So until they do, I don't think they can. I'm just hoping on-field success helps. I don't know if it does. Man, if going on a deep playoff run doesn't help you in the recruiting trail, I mean, maybe I'm missing something. It's hard for me to see how that wouldn't matter. Hard for me to explain why that wouldn't matter. So I don't know. People are talking about the alleged changes coming to the Notre Dame defense, less man, more zone. And then there's a debate of, is that a reaction to having a little less dynamic talent in the secondary that you trust to man up the way you did last year? Or is it a purely philosophical difference of how you want the defense to look regardless of talent between Ash and Golden? It's a fair question. Is it literally you don't think you have the guys to do as much risky one-on-one man stuff and be on islands out there where you have no help or all that? Or is it just a philosophical difference? I think that's a fair, debatable question. Anybody notice that Dallas Golden looks nothing like Al Golden? I did notice that. That's just really weird. Yeah, I did notice that. 415. Talk me down. Make me feel a little better today.
Well, I have to tell you, I had to wait about an hour to call in just because I opened it up with listening to you yelling at Dr. John. I was like, today's not a good day to call in. John's going off.
I'm just a little agitated. And I don't know if my agitation is justified. I don't know if it is a visceral reaction to my hatred of all things Michigan. I don't know if I'm over magnifying the situation because we have nothing else to look at to distract us in the summer. What do you think the realities are? I am open to all angles of this. Phil, I'm totally edgy. You could tell I'm just edgy. I didn't sleep well. I'm just agitated a little bit.
I think there's a couple schools that will make this happen if you lose recruits too. And Michigan's definitely number one for you. And
yeah, it
USC
is. Yeah,
for myself.
It is. And it would always be that way. But the fact that they have this disciplinary thing hanging over is an extra kicker to me. That is like, dude, you couldn't win that one. Like, it's just, and then it's two of them. And then there's all the excuses now that I see of why Notre Dame didn't get this guy. And it all just feels like loserdom when you're making all these excuses. It's like, well, actually, we didn't really want him after all. Well, 27 hours ago, you did. You know what I mean? It's like, so some of it's a little lame.
Here's another angle. And let me throw this out there, because this is just kind of hitting me. Is, you know, we don't know the reasons exactly why these kids are choosing to go to a school that is literally in litigation and having all this other stuff coming down on them for Spygate and like all these different things. And the common sense would be, why would you go there? Why in the world would you go to a school that literally could be suspended at the worst, not getting bowl games and going into the playoffs? But it could be, you know, something as easy as a slap on the wrist, a couple games that they missed for their head coach, and then a fine, which, as you said, is a total joke. So we don't know where it's going to land. But here's another caveat to it. What about this whole NCAA ruling that just came down, and the fact that you get that extra $20.5 million, and that starts July 1? What if these schools, like something like Michigan, promise these other kids more money out of that pot than that of Notre Dame did? And that could be a factor. They could be looking at the immediate gratification of, what if I'm getting an extra $1 million or an extra $500,000 from Michigan, and I'll take that gamble. If something goes wrong, then I'll bounce out. But if they're getting guarantees, or if they're getting other promises of more cash flow, either through NIL deals and or the Michigan pot of that $20.5 million, then maybe that's another reason why they went.
I guess. And the thing is, man, you never, ever, ever know the stories. You don't hear the negotiations. You're not in the room when you're meeting with the family. So I get, it makes sense to me. Like Kent said to me earlier, John, explain to me why a really, really talented receiver would end up at Duke and not at Notre Dame if he's an academic type kid and really good. Why would a receiver like that end up at Duke and you guys couldn't get him? How the hell would I know? Like there's no way for me to answer that, because I'm not in those negotiations. I don't know the grades. I don't know if the kid rubbed Notre Dame the wrong way. Maybe he just doesn't want to move to South Bend. Like, there's a million different things there that go into this. The oversimplifications frustrate me. It's like, why couldn't you land that receiver Duke got? How the hell would I know?
Yeah, and it was that Ken Jackson that brought that up?
Yeah, and it's just like, how could you lose out on that guy? I don't know. I wasn't in the room.
No, and I hear you, and that's a totally fair point on his end. That is a totally fair point, and we will never have those answers until far after these kids are done with college. You start hearing stories about, oh, yeah, when I was being recruited, I ended up doing this because, but they're not going to talk about it now. So we're just kind of left up in the air. And then the unfortunate thing is that you go to the extreme ownership of this whole entire thing, and you go, okay, well, who's owning this? Who's at fault? And, as much as I love Marcus Freeman, as much as I love the way that they're going with things, the reward and the cheers and all that and the accolades of winning will always go towards the top and towards Marcus Freeman. But at the same time, when you lose a game, or you're losing a season, or you're losing recruits, or whatever, or something's going wrong, that's on him as well. Ultimately him, and now the GM. And so you have to look to the top area. You have to look to the leadership, and you got to go, okay, what is going on? And I guarantee you that they are sitting there evaluating this and asking themselves, what happened here? How did we not get? It's not like it was a kid from St. Louis or LA or Texas or something like that. It was from Chicago. Like, if you're looking at kids from the Chicago area not going to Notre Dame, it just, that's a little bit more frustrating. And I'm sure that's how like USC's been feeling lately, is they've been losing a lot of kids from the LA area, going to all these other spots. So I can understand the frustration, because I'm frustrated with it too. When I heard it last night, I was like, that doesn't even make sense. And I was thinking all the same things that you're saying and that you're speaking of today. And at the end of the day, we got to go with whoever we have on the field. And you got to hope that this class, it bolsters up to that top 5 and sticks and stays. But you got to ask yourself, like, man, that's a weird one. That's a weird one. To go to Michigan, if they went to Ohio State, that would have made more sense to me. They just came off a national title season. They still have their coaching staff for the most part set. They're not in any weird litigation or, coming down on any NCAA ruling or anything like that. It would make more sense to go there. But to go to Michigan is just, mind scratch. So that's the only thing I could come up with is money. It's got to be money. That's the only thing I could think of.
And then the other thing is all of the fan bases, all of the media spin on the positive and negative. Whenever there's a recruiting story that involves you, the good and the bad, whatever the media narratives is. Listen, recruiting at the end of the day is a zero-sum game. You either get the guy to play for you or he's playing against you. All of the reasons, all the rationale, all of the excuses, all of the rationalizations, all of the everything you do in your mind to feel better about situations. The bottom line is it's real black and white. They're either playing for you or they're playing against you. And it's win, loss. It's crystal clear, clean cut. You win them and you lose them. Here's the problem. What do you do about this? That's where I really struggle, man. Last night I was just agitated and couldn't quite get to sleep. And I'm just thinking, what do you want? Like, as the fan base today on a show like this, kind of venting, what do you want? Like, you want me to say, hey, don't lose guys to teams we hate? I'd really appreciate it. There, I said it. Like, without being in the building and knowing who's doing what and what you need to do better, whatever. I don't know. So what do you want somebody like me to say? How about you try and not lose the guys we're going after next time? There, I said it. Everybody feel better?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what you do about it.
You want to know what you do, John? You go out 7 months from now and you hoist up the championship trophy.
That's a good point.
Do. Because the only thing that's
a hell of an answer. I like that.
That's it, man. Like, there's nothing else that we can do. We can sit here and spin this all day long. I can sit here until 3 a.m. with you talking about this, all the different nuances and the little, layers of the onion that we could go through and sit there and say why or why not we're getting somebody. But the reality is like on Monday, we talked about it. And I said the thing that takes the longest to turn around in any program is recruiting. It's the last piece of the puzzle. It takes the longest. You can plug in players, you can plug in transfers, you can plug in coaches, you can plug in GMs. But as far as the recruiting pipeline coming through and staying consistent, like those other championship programs that we've seen over the years, you have got to win a strap, man. You got to put it around your belt. You got to around your waist, and you got to hoist up that title. I mean, that's the only way to do it. That's it. Because then the players are going to sit there and go, oh, now of course, we've always dug Marcus Freeman. We've always dug the Notre Dame lore and all this and that. And I can get the grades going or whatever. But now you're winning championships. Oh, okay. Okay. I like that. I like doing that. Let's do it. So that's it, man. I mean, in simplest form, but guess what? There's no instant gratification in that. That's going to take, like I said, what is it? 7 months from now, it's going to take a long, arduous, just every single day you're grinding it out on the practice field every single time. I mean, these kids have got to go out and do it. This coaching staff has got to go out and do it and not hold back on anything. That's what it's going to take.
Yeah, it is. And so I admit that I don't even know where if where I stand is the accurate cliff edge to stand on. That's where I'm struggling. I don't know if I'm overdoing all this because it's summer and there ain't much going on and I hate Michigan. So it's really bugging me the last 2 days. It's one of the rare times where I'm questioning myself on the validity of the feelings I have about this dynamic. And I'm aware enough to know that I'm immature when Michigan enters the room, that I'm immature and that is affecting the way I think. So I don't know whether I'm overdoing this. Maybe some people think I'm underdoing it or whatever, but that's bothering me too, because I can't totally put the Michigan hatred aside and look at it totally neutral. I just can't.
It's the salt on the wound, my friend. We have a wound there, and it's just somebody sitting there, and you can't do anything about it because they're too high up, and they're just pouring out the salt and just digging it right in. And that's what this is. Growing up, whenever I watched the Giants and we'd lose to the Dodgers, I would absolutely just be infuriated. It just drove me crazy. Same thing with Notre Dame losing to USC. For me, it drives me insane. And for you, it's Michigan. And it's just that extra salt in the wound. And so when you sit here and you're dealing with these kind of emotions, like the Duke one is weird. Like that is just, I give it to Commander. Like that is true. Or no, who was it? Not Commander. Excuse me. Ken Jackson.
Yeah.
It is true. You have to sit there and wonder to yourself, why in the world is that happening? That is bizarre. But maybe it's the kids what do you call it? Maybe it's the kids major.
But
like he has like a certain major or something.
It could literally be like the guy, he loves his grandma and she's dying and he wants to be a couple hours drive away from like her. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
like you listen,
yes.
Some of the things that I have been told behind the scenes that end up being deciding factors for or against a recruit going to Notre Dame. Some of the things the stories I've been told behind the scenes are unbelievable. Like the littlest, simplest, little tiny thing could make this difference. And certain things are sticking points with with certain kids. You want to know what one of them is? I'll share this because it's not one guy specific. This has come up multiple times in the last couple of years. I was told Notre Dame really was interested in a guy. The guy was really interested in Notre Dame, but he also said he's only going there if they let his girlfriend in, and Notre Dame said no, so he went somewhere else. I have heard that multiple times. I have heard that multiple times in the Freeman era of recruiting of like, I can't logically figure out a football reason why it didn't work out. And I literally was told a couple of these guys, they were only going if they let the girlfriend in too, and Notre Dame isn't going to do that. If they're going to stretch it for a player, they're going to stretch it for a player, but not the girlfriend too. I heard that on What can you do about something like that? I don't know.
You can't. How many students are at Notre Dame? Like 4,000 or 5,000? I mean, it's, so how many are at like Michigan or Ohio State? It's like 30,000. So it's totally different. You have to be, the school has to be extremely picky in terms of like who they let in. And that's why it's very difficult to get into that school, just scholastically, unless you're a top-notch athlete, right? With the scholastics combined. So if it is things like of that nature, of that, level of significance for somebody, and you have to remember, these are literally 16 and 17-year-old kids making these decisions. We are 40 in our 40s, right? Talking about this as like with all this life experience going, why in the world would you do this? And because it doesn't make sense, but at the same time, they're 16 and 17 years old. What were we like at 16 and 17 years old? And then how were we making decisions that were going to impact the rest of our lives? And not to mention, think about this. It's also the people around them, right? Because you are 16 or 17. You're going to be sitting here listening to your aunts, your uncles, your mom, your dad, your grandparents, whoever it is, your friends. And you get influenced really quickly one way or the other. So it's just all these different nuances coming into play that make up the end result of whether or not these kids go to Notre Dame or not.
Yeah. It's just, man, it is just tough because there's all these basic surface level theories and you just never know behind the scenes. Mark with glasses says, what if a kid just doesn't want to come to Notre Dame? Has that ever happened? It's like, that's sacrilege, right? Like to even consider the idea, all these Notre Dame diehards to even consider the idea that the Golden Dome shimmering in minus 30-degree temperatures in February doesn't turn everybody on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I always tell people that with the recruiting thing is you really have to divorce yourself from your Notre Dame family where your entire value structure and everything wrapped into the religion, wrapped into the heritage, all of that. So you got to call time out on that and realize these kids don't have that blind loyalty the way we do.
Yeah. And that's a great point, right? That is a fantastic point because for me, the way I am as myself, I would sit there and if I were being told that I could go to any school and play football or whatever, it would have been Notre Dame, regardless of how the coaching staff had been, what their record had been, no matter if they haven't been to a bowl game or not. That would not have mattered to me because for me, it was about the school, it was about the tradition, it was about like all those different things, and I wanted to be immersed in it. And that's just that, but that's me, right? And Mark makes a great point because a lot of these kids, they're like South Bend, Indiana, they can't even find it on a map, let alone, understand like the weather and the politics and the religion, if that is a part of it for them or not.
Yeah.
It all takes a part, in it. So it's unfortunate, and I would just say this is like, we have to go, like I said, we have to go win it. We have to go win it. You want to change this whole thing? That's the way it's going to be, where you can sit there and say, oh, we should be getting these kids now because now they can see the proof on the field, which I'd like to segue into a good thing, which is off of your Patreon. You talked about how you heard about CJ Carr as the guy now. And if that is the case, if he is the one that they're going with and the inside the locker room and the coaching staff, and they understand that is a good thing if they're identifying him as the person now, and whether it was him or Minchie, because of the fact that you can sit there for the entire summer and start plugging away and getting them the reps and getting them to understand that they are the guy. Like there is no more like back and forth. Like you're the person, you're the head of the helm here. You're the one who's going to be, leading the pack. Now you need to start taking that role. And it gives them a couple extra months to start prepping it mentally in order to get ready for the regular season. Because as we've all talked about, and as I know we're going to get into it come July, as we get closer to August, man, going into South Beach, week 1 or week 0, whatever you want to call it, on the road, everybody's got a shot at the title. Everybody thinks they got the number 1 class, and all that other stuff. Well, now it's going to be, putting it up to see what we got.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, it's listen, man, for June, it's just kind of the perfect storm to get a fan base on edge because again, I go back to it. Everything's magnified this time of year. You don't have any actual football to distract you. So I don't know whether I'm overdoing it a little or not. Anything else, my friend? Thanks for touching base.
No, buddy. It fantastic show as usual. I mean, I think this is, again, like we talked about last or whatever that was on Monday about like, oh, what would we be doing if we were at Northwestern or if that was our school or something like that? And it would be absolutely nothing. So let's just, be thankful for what we got. We got a fantastic, amazing, traditional school like that holds so much history and championships and lore and all this other stuff. And it's such a huge part of college football. And I know that we're going to continue to be. We just got to get there. We got to get there again, and we will. Yeah, it's hey, we'll move on. There'll be better days. There'll be recruiting wins. It's just the last couple ones are getting to me, man. Hey, keep healing up out there in California. You got it, Johnny boy. Take care, buddy. Have a good one. Andrews referenced this multiple times. I just said Martin was making the final pitch. That's a big mistake. Freeman needs to be doing that. If that rumor or report is accurate, yeah, I don't like it. Yeah, I don't like it. If that is accurate and we're to believe that that's the case, yeah, I don't like it. That's not Mike Martin's spot. Mike Martin's spot should be like more infrastructure thing and whatever. It should be Marcus, and he's really good at that, or like should be really good at that. So yeah, if that is true, then I don't like it. Andrew, that's kind of what I heard too. I was told yesterday morning he's going to talk to both coaching staffs today, and then you're going to figure it out later tonight. But apparently, I mean, the people I was talking to, it was up in the air yesterday morning, and he was going to hear from both sides and then come up. Whatever, man. Whatever. I don't even know. I don't know. All right, guys, I'm getting out of here. This is enough. I'm gonna put something on Patreon with a little bit more information about the 2 guys we lost to Michigan. Because there's a couple unique dynamics here that were told to me off the record. That's what Patreon's for. So I got something on Blade and I have something on Vallejo
from the Notre Dame end, and I'm going to go over some of that on Patreon. So stay tuned for that. Enjoy the interaction. A little bit of a frustrating day, but it's June. I just like seeing that people are excited about Notre Dame. Thanks for the donations. Thanks for the chats. Thanks for the calls. Couple people on hold. Try again on Friday. But stay tuned on Patreon either later today or Thursday. I got something on both these recruits I was told off the record, so check it out. Love you guys, most of you.